What's up, YouTube? I want to go into the topic of precious versus semi-precious. Not to really divide the line too much for you, because not everybody acknowledges the words semi-precious and precious, and other people do. And some people do for some things and not other things. And it's really an interpretation thing. So you're not going to get a clear answer out of me or anybody. You basically get a lot of people would say lapis lazuli. Is that precious? It's rare. There's only 3 places in the world where it's primarily found and 5 other places where you could find it. So it's rare. Is it precious? It's not a gem. It's a rock. So is it a precious gem or is it a precious rock? Or start blurring the lines of what's a mineral and what's a gem, and what are we really talking about here? What's precious? Well, they were basically put into 4 categories if you wanted to go into precious. Diamond, sapphire, emerald, and ruby are the ones that command the most money over the sands of time. So those are the ones that I would call precious, basically because they're so expensive. And a dollar amount does matter, whether it's for marketing or specifically why the stone is so great. Precious means money. I'm sorry, everything ends up being money in life, but when I was describing beryls the other day, I left one out, and it was Joshonite. This is basically because it's not collectible, and here I collected it. It is collectible. It's very beautiful. I think it reflects light pretty well, despite of what other people say about Joshonite. But this stone, you could buy a lot of the rough for very cheap. It's not in demand. People aren't just asking for a whole bunch of Joshonite jewelry right now. Its price per carat is probably $1 or less. So at a 2.5 carat stone, there wasn't much of an investment made here other than the fact that they cut the crap out of it. There's so many facets in it that it's spectacular. And each thing is to be appreciated on its own. But this does not make it a precious stone. And the chemical composition of this stone is the exact same chemical composition of an emerald. And some emeralds show barely any green, and they're worth money. This is not. I'll just keep holding it up because it is beautiful. And if you don't like what I'm saying, you could just look at it. But it gets confusing even within the big 4. Like rubies, if they're too cloudy, it's called a corundum. It's technically not called a precious ruby unless it's precious. It has all the qualities of a precious ruby. Like it reflects light back at you and it has fire and this and that. Then, it can be called a ruby, but until then, it's basically worthless. This is one at the very bottom of the list of beryls. This is below yellow, below Heliodor, and it doesn't command a price. So know your precious versus precious, or non-precious, semi-precious. There's not actually a term. You could respect it or you can't, but respect what your dollars are going to pay for, if it's really abundant or not.